Broadcasting from the heart of downtown Hollywood. This is SoFloRadio.com.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to Rick's Show on the Radio, Thursday, April 30th, 2015, and it looks like from all appearances I have my friends here to speak about whatever you guys are going to speak about, which is, of course, the theater, right?
50 Shades of Poe.
All right.
The Abyss Theater, to be more accurate.
Yes, that one in particular, and a particular show called 50 Shades of Poe.
And we're here to talk about one of the stories that's in it, the Oval Painting, which is directed by Bird here.
Good, but we're not going to do that right now. We're going to just jam on some music for a little bit. So let's just listen to a little bit. What do you listen
Propeller's
to?
Head.
Propeller's Head. Okay, let's listen to a little bit of that drum and bass. Right. Wow. Were you guys looking at those pictures out there in what is it, the Etherland? I think they were looking at those pictures, weren't they? Some pretty cool stuff from your production there. Well, anyway, I want to welcome my guests to the show, Rick's Show on the Radio. From my right, we have Mr. Dominick Daniel.
Hello.
You've been a guest on the show a couple times already.
Yes, I have.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you, Rick.
Yes, sir. And my friend Bird. Also, another guest that's been on before. This is your twice or third time?
No, this is my third time.
Damn, three times. All right. But, okay, with Julie Selva.
Hello there.
How you doing, Julie? Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
This is your first time here, right? So, just like these two guys, when they had to do, of course, and Darron Boyer. He's
the other
here.
newbie. Yeah.
He's a newbie as well. And, of course, it's required when you show up to Rick's Show on Radio. It's the first time.
Oh, no.
There is a hazing process, and you guys have to sing a song. These guys had to do it,
Sing
right?
a song.
right?
They
It's
don't,
a
they,
song.
the look in their
song.
face, they don't seem to recall that.
No?
process, but,
All right, now
we
we'll
can
skip
play
it.
along.
No, you don't have to sing a song because
Naked.
I've heard you sing. Dan. I don't wanna-
Let Julie sing. She's,
yeah, Julie probably can
Jules is
sing, huh?
amazing, yes.
Oh, she can.
She could probably do a lot of stuff. Don't you play the keyboards?
Yeah, I do.
Wow. Well, I just it's good to have my these guys here because I don't know if well, probably the listening and viewing audience doesn't know, but we just did a successful run of a transmedia play called Theater of Vampires, and basically this is a cast and crew from the same production.
Well, smaller version of the cast and crew, but
Well, it is. It's a part of the cast and crew. Yeah, we had how many people do we have on stage in there for Theater of Vampires? Like about eight people
Yeah,
all together.
yeah, 8 or 9. Plus
Seven
multiple personalities on some
Yeah.
members. Of the
Right,
cast.
right. Did they count as two?
Yeah, counted,
Elizabeth
one of them
Bathory.
counted as 3 or 4.
Yeah, that's true. Exactly. Yeah. Well, great. So, but we are here now because you guys have spun right on into another production here, which of course is at the same theater that we just came from, the Abyss Theater.
The Abyss Theater, yes.
Where's the Abyss Theater located, Jay? Tell us.
Oh, the exact address is 2304 North Dixie Highway in
Okay.
Wilton Manors.
That's
Man's
right.
Good
encyclopedia.
answer,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
I've given it out enough.
And what is the capital of Oklahoma, by the way?
Tulsa.
Okay, good man. I didn't ask you, though.
No,
All right?
my wingman's got my back.
That's right. I knew Jay did that.
Between the two of you guys, you can get it, all right? All right. Well, yeah. So basically what I want to do is we're going to talk about your guys' production here. But first, I want to give a little bit of background from everybody. And I'm going to start from over here first. Darron Boyer, welcome to my show.
Yes, thank you very much.
It was
Pleasure
good-
to be here, Rick.
Yes, sir, it is. So we met. You've casted and definitely got the lead part for our production, The Trial of Lucius. And you were Lucius himself.
Yeah, that was a fun audition. I remember that. seeing that posted, I think through one of the Facebook's groups for actors down here in South Florida, maybe the Hampton Table,
Yeah.
one of those. And I remember I had to get to somewhere by like 7:30, and I got there with about 10 minutes left, and I said, I got one shot to convince these people, and
Yeah.
I think
You did it.
yeah, maybe that helps. So yeah, that was that
Well, there
a
was
lot of
nobody
fun.
else there, so no, I'm only kidding. No, no, really, you did a good job, and we're glad to have you. So,
lucky.
yeah, we did get lucky. We got lucky with a bunch of people, especially Julie, who came on as well.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, but let's stick with Darren here. Give me a little bit of your background, Darren. Are you from the Florida area? Or how
Yeah, I
long
was
you been here?
actually born and raised down here in South Florida. I've lived in all 3 counties. Spent my earlier childhood till about 7th grade in Miami Springs, down south in Dade, and then lived a couple years out in Weston, actually, and then I finished high school up in West Palm Beach at Wellington High School. So I got a taste for the Tri-County in all areas. But
Yeah.
In far areas too.
Yeah.
Miami Springs.
Yeah,
oh.
that's pretty far. I mean, I've been down here since 1968, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. Julie says, wow, you are old. But I've basically lived in Broward all my life, so I mean, North and South Broward as far as I ever went.
well, I'm back in Broward now. It's a good middle ground, I feel like. You get a little bit of
course.
everything. So,
Yeah. Hop, skip, and a jump to West Palm Beach or Miami.
Yeah, and then from there, I went to college up in Gainesville, University of Florida, where I kind of caught the bug for film to kind of give you a little idea of how I got into acting and everything. There's a film studies program up there. They don't have a film school, but so I kind of went into it in a roundabout way. I started watching some movies and like learning about movies and writing about them the way you might study like English literature or something. So I fell in love with like Italian cinema and David Lynch and all of these great filmmakers, and I was like, whoa, there's some cool things happening in movies. And so I think ever since then I've been slowly trying to find my way closer into more and more productions, and I found a good path so far through acting. So yeah.
Is that your favorite path in this business here?
I'm actually, from that experience, I wanted to do filmmaking more like the director side, but so I've done a little bit of that. The end of 2013, I shot a kind of an experimental feature that I'm trying to finish post-production on now that I'm hoping to wrap up, titled N/D. And so that's my first big project that I undertook as a director, and yeah, it's very challenging but very rewarding.
You
So,
said it
yeah.
was an experimental film?
Yeah,
Sounds interesting.
yeah.
Being a David Lynch fan. Anybody here seen Eraserhead?
Of course.
Of course, it's
Mulholland
required.
Drive or one of those. No, I don't try to claim to be anywhere in that ballpark, but I'm just kind of finding my own voice as a director and writer and things like that. So tried out some things. We'll see. I'm hoping to wrap it up, like I said, sometime in the next few months and have some local screenings and stuff like that. So yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Good, yeah. That's any ideas on where you want to do the screenings at, or?
Well, I worked through an organization down in Miami through the O Cinema. I can't remember the
Indie Film Club.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
And they have a deal for production insurance, and I joined up with their club in order to access some of that. And they've extended an offer to screen it there.
Good.
So that'll be nice.
One of the monthly things, and not going to move to LA.
Probably through that.
That'd be
Yeah. I have to talk more to them about what's going on, but I'm aware of that monthly screening, and then from there, we'll see. I want to enter it into some film festivals and go from there.
I'm sure Aaron at the Abyss would love to have you screen it there as well.
Yeah.
You've got options.
It's not so much horror, but I know Infinite Abyss loves to. They do a lot of things, but yeah, I know they've found a nice niche with Vampire Show and now Edgar Allan Poe, and so. But yeah, it'd still be really nice to screen it there as well. So
That's great.
Well,
So
we'll be there.
cool. Yeah. So the writing thing is something that you're interested in as well, huh? Concepts of films and.
yeah, the project I did, I wrote myself as well. So Yeah, like I said, I kind of think of it as filmmaking. I'm interested in making great films, and
Right.
so however that can, whatever part I can be in that, and I like to dabble in different things and collaborate with other people who and take turns even. Hey, let me help out in your project, you help out in mine,
Yeah.
learn from each other, things like that.
Oh,
So yeah, that's
There's a lot of that going on.
Yeah.
I promote that kind of stuff. I think everybody does and should.
There
You
should
know.
be more of it down here.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's good. Good. I'm glad that we met and that you're continuing on your association with the people that were brought together for one project, and now you just move into other projects with them, and that's a good thing. It really is. It's good to form a troupe or a cohesive unit or people that are used to working with you. Like
Yeah.
Jay and I have worked together on a couple things already. And
Well, it's good. I mean, you keep it within the family, as I put it, and it works better. You promote within.
You develop trust and relationships, and then you say, "I know I can count
And you know,
on."
you know how that person
Sure.
works and,
Yep.
and whatever. I mean, outsiders can come in, but they kind of have to earn it before, because we've had some bad experiences with bringing outsiders in. I'm sure you've sampled it. And,
sure, everybody's an
yeah.
outsider before they,
So
At one point, yeah.
and then usually even you have people that stay within your family that kind of become the black sheep of the family,
those
the
are the ones
weird uncle.
you need them.
Yeah, we got to have them there anyway. So, by the way, Jay, you're the weird uncle. I know.
You're the weird uncle.
I accept that with honors.
All right, that's good. But Julie, so
Hi.
you're a member of the family now. Which family is this? The Theater of Vampire?
Yeah,
No,
Addams
just
family.
The
She's,
full
she's part of the
family.
Abyss family.
Yeah.
The Manson family.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, Julie Selva.
Well, I've always been in the performing arts one way or another. I initially, I am a musician, a singer.
Wow.
Through high school, I was in a performing arts academy. So I was doing a lot of shows and stuff. And the beginning of college, I took a couple of musical theater classes. And then eventually I got accepted into New World for the opera program. And then
Opera?
Opera. And then I started questioning, should I continue pursuing this? And somewhere along the line, I started acting. It all started, I just was volunteering at the Adrian Arts Center, and I was just so mesmerized by all the performances, whether it was opera, Broadway, or, the regular plays. And somewhere along the line, I started networking, and then I ended up getting an agent and started acting, doing commercials, film, and eventually I found myself doing plays as well. And I do it through Thespies Rose Theater, and it's been a lot of fun. And it all happened recently, and everything's.
Good.
So I've been having a lot of fun, and I've enjoyed finding everyone here and working with this group of people.
Right.
It's been a lot of fun. So
Yeah, it sounds like you're utilizing your musical skills as well, huh? Are you doing anything with that? As I understand, if your husband,
Yeah, my husband, he's a musician.
what's his name?
Well, he goes by Joe Alexander, his
Okay.
musician name.
Okay.
He that's how we kind of met. He likes music a lot too. He has his rock band, the Joe Alexander Band, and he used to gig all around South Beach. And he has a CD. He's on CD Baby and Spotify.
And it's Joe Alexander.
Joe Alexander, you'll
Okay.
find him under that.
Yeah.
And we got married and we had kids, so he kind of took a break. But he's ready to come back, and we're glad that we found Dominick. He's like a kick butt drummer.
Oh, he is. Yeah.
Yeah, and our drummer, we didn't have one anymore because he won some Grammy, and now he's a big shot, so he left our band.
Ah,
So,
what a jerk.
It's hard to find a good drummer, but we
No,
have
he is a
faith.
good drummer. I'm
We have
a
faith
bass
in
player. I've
Dominick.
been playing bass for a long
Ooh,
time.
you are a bass
and
player.
I know
Good to know.
drummers.
Ooh,
I know from drummers. I play with a lot of different types of drummers. And I know good ones, and I listen to him. As a matter of fact, I know you played, into Dominick Daniel here, you played in a band called the Livid Kittens and a few other original bands that are in
Yes, I
town,
did.
right?
Yeah. We Livid Kids was the one that I most proud of, and we got to play all over around. We did shows with Marilyn Manson and the Mavericks, and it was great. And what you first saw me play was with Hedwig
Yeah.
and the Angry Inch, and which we might be doing again.
That would be interesting. Are you talking about you gonna play the drummer?
Yeah. We might be doing.
Excellent.
There's talk about it, but as of yet, we'll see. But that's. I'm going to be hopefully working with Jules and her husband there, because this CD's really, really good.
Yeah,
Anybody who's out
we're
there,
looking forward to
check
that.
it out, because it's an awesome CD. He's got 14 cuts on there, and every song on it there is good.
Good. I was kind of hoping to get the music in here today for us to play, but you tell your husband to bring a CD, and we'll play it on a regular rotation here on the SoFloRadio.com.
Awesome.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Plus, I'd like to hear you guys play too. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have our first
Soon enough,
rehearsal,
soon enough.
Tuesday?
Yeah, Tuesday.
Tuesday at 7.
Great.
Oh.
Great. All right, and then we get over to my friend Jay here. Jay and I, we've met. What was October, August, September
last
year. And a friend of mine recommended, hey, you got to check this guy out, because we were hot and heavy getting into the first iteration of Theater of Vampires, and just looking around and seeing what was going on that with that type of theme. And somebody pointed out your Corpse Nation website.
Correct.
And I thought, wow, this guy does some pretty cool stuff. Tell us a little bit
Creepy
about
stuff.
yourself, Jay, as if we have never heard of you before, even though this is your third time here.
Yeah. Let me see. Originally from Boston. I've been living down here in South Florida, all in Broward County since '93, the end of '93. So I've lived both north and south of Broward, like you have, mostly in the Coral Springs, Coconut Creek area. And I've always been into film and drama, writing my whole life. And when I started pursuing that professionally was after moving down here to South Florida. Went to film school for it, and I've worked on major motion pictures, TV shows, wrote and directed a lot of commercials, so on and so forth. And just recently, actually, when I met you, got back into theater, because I was acting and doing theater many, many years ago. And then it was all TV and film. And when you and I met and you talked to me about Theater of Vampires, and I said, sounds pretty cool, let me come by and check it out and see how I can help out.
Yeah.
And
It turned out to be quite an asset to that project.
Thank you.
I think I don't know if I said that many times, but I'm going to say it again. It was very good to have you on board here. Not only with your, you brought in the realistic-looking corpse, which we put in the audience during the first Theater of Vampires, but you also helped out on our technical end here as well. And
working special effects. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun doing it and doing professionally what I've always just done as a hobby. So, and then we did the second incarnation last month.
At the Abyss, right.
At the Abyss Theater, which was cool. And actually, I met Aaron, who owns the Abyss Theater.
That's Aaron Dalton.
Correct. Through you. And you told Aaron, you have to meet my friend Jay. You told me you have to meet my friend Aaron, so on and so forth. And she was doing a production called Seance, and you and I went down there one night. That was a really fun show. Met Aaron. Shortly after that, she got her space in Wilton Manors, and invited me down to take a look. And I went down there, and I've been working with her ever since.
That's great.
So, burning the midnight oil and having a lot of fun in each and every production, because it isn't just theater. It's art shows, and it's photography, and it's videography, and it's filming. It's everything creative.
Yeah.
And it's been a great collaboration with her. And then having you come down with Theater of Vampires, meeting Dominick and Darren and Julie and Will and Willie, everybody down there. It's been really cool.
Yeah, I liked it too, especially because everybody else, not only did some of the people that were the actors are also helped out with some of the technical ends as well, like Will Broll, who's he's more into audio visual stuff and provided some of the technical end for us, because one thing that we agreed on, that the Theater of Vampires, which also 50 Shades of Poe, is more of a transmedia type of event, meaning there's not just a play, there's like a video presentation and some other special effects going on. I see that 50 Shades also has a bigger element of that as well.
50 Shades is really cool. It's very unique, actually. Officially titled 50 Shades of Poe. Essentially, and this was original incarnation by Will. who brought it up to Aaron and said, yeah, I think we can do something with this. So what we're doing is we have 4 unique stories, or technically we have 3 stories, and one of those, and the 4th story is actually poetry. So you've got Edgar Allan Poe stories, you have Edgar Allan Poe poetry, and we have the 3 main components that make up the theatrical performance, and then the overlaying performance, which is the Mask of the Red Death, that ties everything together. Mm-hmm. So for those that understand or have read Poe, you know the main character in the Mask of the Red Death is Prince Prospero. It brings everybody into his castle to save them from the plague. And, 1%ers we're talking about. So he has this big masquerade ball. Everybody's dressed up to the nines. And he says, hey, we're just going to entertain and we're going to pretend like the outside world doesn't exist. Everybody's protected in here. And he puts on all these different productions and plays so on and so forth. And I'm not going to spoil the ending, but if you read The Mask of the Red Death, you'll know what's going on. So basically, that's what we're doing. It starts with The Mask of the Red Death. It ends with The Mask of the Red Death. And in between, Prince Prospero has 3 different productions going on. And each of the productions is all written and directed by 4 different authors.
Well, let's
versus,
talk more about that,
directors.
like how you guys split that up and assigned those things here. But first, I want to ask Dominick here. Dominick, you got involved with this as well through your association with the Theater of Vampires. Are you a big Edgar Allan Poe fan?
No. Not really.
No, I hate Edgar
and I'm not
Allan
a
Poe.
Dracula fan either. I'm not. I was talking to Willie about this last night. As I'm not a fan of horror or whatever. But I'm more an Oscar Wilde fan. But Poe, how it came about, I've known Erin for a long time, so I've done a lot of stuff with her, and how this came about was Will came up with the idea, and there was 3 different stories. There's the Imp and the Perverse. There is what is the other
Love
one?
and Death.
Love and Death, and the one that Jay Bird has directed, which is the Oval Portrait. They've contemporized their version. The Love and Death stayed true to Poe's wording and
But that was
whatever.
Will's.
That was Will's piece, which Aaron took over to direct, and that's how come it's got a different look altogether. But I have enjoyed it. I enjoy the characters. As long as I can kind of create a character within these stories, then I'm kind of happy. Like the same thing like they did with Dracula. I'm not a horror fan, but I enjoy playing the character because it's so much fun. And to
Well, you
create
kind of
that look.
steampunk Dracula out.
Yeah,
there. That was pretty cool.
and I get a lot of leeway when it comes to creating the look. I mean, I'll take little pointers or whatever, but I already have something in mind, and then I'll say, "What do you think of this?" And then we go with it.
Well, that's one thing that I enjoyed about working with you from my productions. Even the scripts that I've given you in the past, I would get calls from Dominick going, "Hey, I was thinking about your character there, and I was thinking about if he looked like this and he wore this suit," and they send me pictures of suits, and I'm like, "Damn, this guy, man, he's impressing me," because sometimes it takes more than just showing up and for the rehearsal. Sometimes if you show yourself that, like, calling people and go, "Hey, I've been looking at this," or "I have some questions about the script," or all that type of stuff, show that you're involved, and that's one thing that impressed me.
You have to put in the legwork. I mean, that is just another part of the script is one thing, but then the look of the character, and it helps you as an actor to develop more. I remember Willie, when he's doing the butler in Jay's piece, and one night he didn't have the white gloves, and he wasn't feeling right. The minute he put on the white gloves, his whole attitude and demeanor changed, and it was just that little thing, but it just added exactly what the character needed. And he's been flashing on that one a lot, so it's real
don't
nice.
you think the
It's those little
costuming-
things. Costuming is important. Once you put it on, you're like, there's the character, and then if you haven't found the voice yet, you'll start getting it.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Prospero
Absolutely.
wouldn't be the same without his whip. That's for
Exactly, and his
Right.
goggles and it's everybody. There's a
can
specific
we,
for the character.
I'm going to ask my producer Anthony if we could bring up a picture of Darren. I think we have some pictures from our from your production here, and I know there's one of
cool.
him, Prince Prospero, right?
There's one of him leaning forward holding the whip.
Yeah, so it was interesting to play off Dominick's comments there. Certainly, I can definitely appreciate the value of strong prop choices and costume choices, and
It helps. It makes the job a lot easier and frees it up.
I can further talk about what Rick mentioned. With even though you and I worked together a few times prior to 50 Shades of Poe, when I asked you to be involved, I think the very next day you started calling me up and saying, I'm thinking about this character. I have this shirt, I have this vest, I got this hat, so on and so forth. And I said, I was really impressed the fact that you took the time to do some of that research and call me up and start asking me about costuming and things like that.
Yeah, see, that's impressive. I like that. People,
when
an actor does that for me, I start,
It's how I work, and I mean, it's just part of it. It's nothing to be, toot no horn over. It's just that's how I work, and it helps me, and if the character's well written and there's something in there, then you start digging and finding. As I was still doing Dracula the last run, I was still finding other things that and that's the problem with doing a show just for 3 weeks, because you start getting into your stride like in the last week. I don't know if the other actor's going to agree, but you're like, oh well, and then it's over. You're like, I'd like to try this, because I know I still play the play over in my head a couple of weeks after it's done, and I'm like, I should have tried this, or this would have been cool here.
Me too.
But it is what it is, and
characters are always evolving.
Yeah, always, and it also depends on what kind of day you're having that day, because what you bring is what you're going to bring at the performance. If I'm having a shitty day that day, it's going to somewhat convey through the character I'm playing, in whatever piece I'm doing.
So as far as like costuming goes, though, you guys find, I'm going to ask Julie and Darren this, because I've seen some pretty cool costuming that you guys had. Theater of Vampires was some pretty cool stuff. Kind of Victorian garb you had on there for Lucius' character, and then of course Julie's character was some really Sekhmet, some really cool Egyptian vibe. So there was some very cool stuff. Did you find also that it's easier to be the character if you're all rigged out in the costume?
I mean, like with Sekhmet, I had the cat eyes, and like that really put the touch. And it was really fun, wearing all of this Egyptian regalia and, just doing my thing there. But I feel like you really become even more so the character.
Sure.
With the costume and
so
makeup.
So tell us about your character in 50 Shades of Poe.
Well, in 50 Shades of Poe, I am the oval portrait painter's wife. And basically, well, as you can see in the image, I don't know if it's on there right now, there was makeup. There's also like a lot of makeup done because she dies, in the story she dies. And that was fun, playing dead in the video. And it was, in that part, it was with Dominick. We had a lot of fun doing that shoot. We also shot at a park. What was it?
Markham Park. We did filming there.
And that was fun too, at a barn full of spiders and stuff. And you put up with a lot of stuff as an actor. So,
Cool.
But that was fun. I think at some point we bumped into a rattlesnake too.
Really?
But,
Yeah, at Markham Park.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness.
So the first shoot we did at Markham Park, I was with Julie, and we had a rattlesnake encounter. And the second time I was at Markham Park doing a reshoot with Willie Lasante, we had a brown recluse encounter. Brown recluse, spider, poisonous. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, those are bad. What do you mean by encounter? I hope you mean, hey, there's a brown recluse spider. See you later.
It was crawling around the camera bag, so we had to be real careful when we packed up and check all the pockets.
This lens
and
is
everything.
fine.
This will do.
We'll use the one that's on
We got
here
the shot.
already.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it went. Yeah.
Well, you cut some dialogue off. Doesn't matter. Go.
No, but I will say that was one of the things that impressed me most about Infinite Abyss in general. They do a lot of really good things there, but costuming was one that blew me away from the moment I got there. The directors for Theater of Vampires were talking to me from day one about, are you willing to wear contact lenses? How about the fangs? And I was like, yeah, bring it all on,
good.
And, there was a Nosferatu character that was, it took him like, I don't know how long each night to get into costume. And so that was new for me and to that level of costuming and sometimes you see in like smaller productions, they lose that element or that falls by the wayside because there's only so much time to prepare and stuff. But I felt like at Infinite Abyss, that is not something they slack on, and in Poe as well,
Right.
the ambiance, the milieu, the costumes.
Well, you guys are also trying to do more of an immersive type of theater at the Abyss as well. Is that correct?
That was another
that's
thing, yeah.
Very immersive, and let me talk about time real quick. Is that at the Abyss Theater, we don't have any more time than any other production. Every month we're doing something different. So from concept to completion, we're talking probably less than 4 weeks. Between getting new costumes and new makeup ideas and character development, it's all done in a very
it's happening.
fast turnaround time. Yeah.
Well, with Poe, we had a little bit more time to rehearse and whatever. It was about a good month. I mean, but for other productions, I think like Krampus, it was a week and a half. And Seance was 4 days, and we just charged into that. But Erin, she surrounds herself with the right people, and she's got good people that work with her and for her and whatever. So it helps out a lot,
Well, the nice thing about Poe too was because there was 3 different stories. Each kind of cast within the cast could kind of break into their group and rehearse in their time, and then we kind of all came together. And to speak to the interactive part, your question earlier. There's dance performances in this show. There's video elements. There's video that turns into live theater. There's a part where audience members are invited to get up and dance as well. So, that is another mark that impresses me about the Infinite is
That's good.
if you're going to a show, be prepared to go to an outing. In fact, I know Aaron has been promoting this show to the audience to get dressed up, to treat it like you're going to a masquerade. So I know even the first show there was one gentleman dressed in a cape and a full like phantom mask, and no one knew who he was. He
That's
just
great.
he came in the vibe. And so as a performer, you look out and you see that people are enthusiastic and that they're part of the fun. It makes it a lot of fun.
Great.
To
Well,
be
let's
part
talk
of
a little
that.
bit more about the show and the immersive nature, and maybe we can get Aaron to call in. I'm going to give the phone number out. The number to call in here is 954-990-0036. He's got it memorized.
Gonna say, Rick
So
does not
you
have an
guys
echo.
give us a call, and maybe we could talk. You could talk to any one of our members, or if Aaron wants to call in, or whoever else is associated with the theater, the Abyss Theater, or the 50 Shades of Poe. Just give us a call at that number. But we're going to take a little break right now, the bottom of the hour, and then we'll be right back with the cast of 50 Shades of Poe and Theater Vampires here on SoFloRadio.com.
Who's Blake? Hey, Blake. Who's Blake?
SoFloRadio.com.
SoFlo, what channel is that on?
It's online, sir. It's Wi-Fi radio.
Oh, I see.
But what channel is it on?
Put your business on the leading edge of media advertising with the SoFloRadio.com network. Unlike antiquated AM or FM radio, your professionally produced 30 or 60-second ad will be heard live on SoFloRadio.com during the day and will be downloaded thousands of times a day on SoFloRadio.com, as well as being heard on our free podcasts on iTunes. Wi-Fi radio and Bluetooth are now available with BMW, Ford, GM Cars and Trucks. Don't get left behind. Contact SoFloRadio.com for details and our very affordable rates. SoFloRadio.com. Stay ahead of the game.
Strawberry patch and smoothie. Come
Get your hands off me!
Huh?
I said don't touch me!
I shouldn't have went to that party last night. Now I'm seeing talking fruit.
You're not dreaming, Bubba, and you're not putting me in that blender.
But you're just a fruit.
Who you calling a fruit?
You are. You're a delicious passion fruit.
Why, sure, I'm passionate. How would you like to be blended, huh? I got right, you know.
Customers waiting. You gotta go.
Yeah, but wait, you can...
At Power Smoothie in Aventura, we show fruit no mercy. Always fresh, always delicious. To make the best smoothies and wraps on earth, try our new cilantro lime-alicious wrap or our hot chipotle chicken. Power Smoothie in Aventura, located just north of the Aventura Mall in the Promenade Shops. Or call 305-792-5338. Open 7 days a week. Put a team of professional consultants behind your home or business computer with Key Information Solutions, providing solutions to your internet and computing needs while keeping you on the cutting edge of technology. Preventative maintenance and networking support, hardware and custom-built computers. Let Key Information Solutions be your personal tech staff for your home or office with affordable hourly, monthly, or annual rates to fit anyone's budget. Call Key Information Solutions now. 954-973-3374. That's 954-973-3374. Or visit keyinformation.com. SoFloRadio.com. We do stuff.
Yes, there you go. We bid you welcome back to Rick's Show on the Radio. Then we're listening to a little bit of our friends Queen Dementia.
Queen Dementia?
Yep, they've been here on the show as well, and also involved with Theater of Vampires, the first iteration. Great couple, really nice people
Lana
they are.
and
Yeah,
Joseph
Lana and
super
Joseph,
nice
very nice people. Anyway, I've been trying to get people to call in to our radio show here, or our transmedia radio television show, but I think we're having a little issue with their telephone number. So I apologize if you're calling in and we can't get you on. Just keep trying. Maybe we can get you to come, figure it out before the end of the show. So let's get back. There was one thing in lieu of Aaron being able to call in. Let's just talk about Aaron for a while here. What do you say, huh?
Sure.
Let's talk about her.
Terrific. She played
well,
my,
she can't answer any of these spurious accusations that Jay is about to unleash. What?
Jay out of all people.
No.
She knows better.
Aaron's terrific. Well,
Yeah, she's got some good ideas, and she's very enthusiastic about bringing theater to South Florida.
A different kind of theater. She's not sticking to the classic trend of what's going on out there. She's gearing to a certain type of audience, a hipper, younger crowd, and hence the kind of theater that she is doing with Poe and bringing Theater of Vampires and Hedwig and other things that she'll be doing in the future. Brings in a certain, because if you bring a certain age group, they're going to grow with the theater. You know, you get somebody that's a little bit older, more mature, and they're accustomed to a certain type of theater. Yeah, traditional. Then they're not gonna be much of your supporters. They may come out of curiosity, but they're not gonna, grow with you or recommend you to friends or whatever. Oh, they did a Poe thing, did a Dracula thing. It's not really our thing.
Right.
So she's approaching it very differently. I mean, first year is always tough, but I have a lot of faith that she's gonna be doing a lot more things next year.
That audience is building. I know this is the final weekend of 50 Shades of Poe, so
almost sold out.
We're almost sold out already, so get your tickets online. However, I know one of the groups coming in that already bought tickets is a birthday party, and they've never been to the theater before, so it'll be their first experience. They said it sounds right up their alley, so it's really great to have new people come down and spreading the word, and it's all been word of mouth.
And we like being
the
up
audience
people's
is
alley.
building and building and building.
Yeah, it looks like she's kind of geared to theater towards more of a transmedia thing as well. The big screen in the background. It's incorporated into the set more or less.
Everything. Yeah, she's not afraid to try stuff and convey the message however she wants to. It's not traditional theater. So I call it rock and roll theater, really.
Yeah, rock and roll theater. That's yeah. I mean, I saw some of the stuff she was doing. Actually, that's how we were introduced to you and her back when she had the
the Empire Stage.
The Empire Stage. But that wasn't really. That was just a smaller theater,
It's a
just
black
more or
box.
less traditional.
Yeah.
Well,
It was a black box theater, and it was her and Jeff at the time. And
Jeff, who's Jeff?
Holmes. He
Jeff
was a
Holmes.
director who directed our piece, The Imp and the Perverse, and he broke away. And the stuff they were still doing, there was something very American Gothic, very edgy, but still for a certain audience. And not alienating any new audience that may want to come, and that she had that was a perfect balance. A lot of theaters, they cater to one thing, and it kind of pushes out, other people that may want to go see. They didn't do that. They gave contemporary stuff, then they did original pieces, and then they did some musicals, and they did some edgier, darker stuff, alternative kind of theater too. And every time I went to go see a show, they were always packed. Always so that I'm like, this is something I want to be part of. So and that's how I got to meet them. Oh, that's way back. So, but I'm glad I did.
Well, coming from, say, a musical background down in South Florida, I was grateful to see once in a while a bar would hop up and try to promote the original musicians in town, which is good. And I think I see the same thing going on with like the Abyss Theater where... it's not so much, hey, you can see hair or,
something different.
Yeah, sometimes they'll throw, a traditional thing in there, but I think her plans are more for something out of the ordinary and something more original.
Yeah. Definitely focusing on original theater, original pieces, giving people something unique and different to come check out.
Mm-hmm.
And her location's perfect too. Wilton Manors it's got its own personality, and it's our theater. I think fits in perfectly with the neighborhood and the surroundings and everything, and everybody's been real cool about it. So
yeah,
and you're dead on accurate with transmedia. I mean, we're going full on out with transmedia. It isn't just the play. There's always in my particular piece. And earlier, I want to touch on something when I mentioned writers and directors. Everything is based on Edgar Allan Poe. For example, the piece that I'm doing, the Oval Portrait. If you've ever read that, that's only a 2-page story. And the first page is basically nothing. He just shows up, and then the second piece is a 1-page story of the woman in the portrait. So I had to take a lot of creative freedom, and I had to stretch that out. I basically had to write 15 pages to that story, which is, a way for me to change it and make it work on stage. And I have 2 short films that we shot that are incorporated into the play.
Yeah, I noticed that the one that you directed was more transmedia oriented.
There's visual effects, there's special effects on stage, there's a little bit of gore, there's a little bit of everything, but I like, I have the freedom to work the transmedia angle, and I took full advantage of it.
Good.
And it's fun. It's fun for these guys. Dominick, for example, was working in 2 of the other plays currently going on with 50 Shades of Poe. So I was a little apprehensive to approach him for this particular character because I know he's got a lot of lines to memorize and a lot of work that he's got to do.
Oh, he's good with that. He likes memorizing a lot of lines.
He loves long diatribes and whatnot.
Big dialogue. I envy Willie.
So I told him, I said, no, the character I want you to do is strictly on film. And he said, really? I'm all in. And I sent on the script, and he said, he liked it, and we went out and we shot it, and he killed it on set. And when you come and check out the show, you'll see him up there, and he looks the part, and he's very convincing.
To interject with that, I liked it first. Thank you, Jay, for that opportunity. It was my first time getting back in front of the camera after probably 5 years, and I had really no desire to get back in the camera. But after working with Jay, Sonny, and Fernando, and Jules, and watching how a unit works together in a small unit, and it just gave me that desire to wanting to get back in front of the camera, and then hence I'm segueing into our little web series that I approached Jay with and Fernando wanting to do.
This is a new thing here that you're talking
Yes,
about, right?
yes, and you're looking at most of the cast. And all the other ones are in the play. It's called Hush. It's a 6-episode series for the web, 15 minutes, and it's about the murder of a 12-year-old girl, and each of the people that are being investigated or investigating are suspects in some way, and they're also everybody's got a dark secret they're hiding. So, you know, you don't know exactly who, including myself. I played the head of the major case homicide there. Even I'm a suspect of the murder there. So, and Julie plays my partner. Darren plays one of the suspects. Jay is the assistant director, amongst other things, you know, and Sonny and Fernando. I have Aaron in there, and Willie and Will, and Jim Gibbons, who was in Pillow Man with me, who I have to have. And, you know, good. And I thank Jay for that, because I had really no inkling or desire to get back in front of the camera. I just, you know, it was impersonal to me. I didn't, but after seeing that, it just kind of relit a fire. And we're in association with a friend of yours, A&I. Shar will be our producer in association with Aaron and Infinite Abyss. So,
all right, so good.
It's going to be, we're going to start shooting sometime in the summer a little bit. And
we'll probably drop a couple of teasers in the late summer, and then probably shoot full on in late fall, early winter, and release in early 2016.
Oh, good. So you got a plan. I'm glad.
Yeah, we got, trust me, I've been working the last 2 days getting everybody in the cast and everything.
Who's doing the writing of this?
I came up concept with the idea, and I'm collaborating with Jay. The first 3 episodes I've already kind of laid out, but I'm big on collaboration. So it's not, you hit etched in stone, this is how we're going to do it, and there's no other way. No, if there's, because Erin's made a suggestion for her character. She goes, I don't want to be a boring housewife. So she goes, how about a psychiatrist that works with the staff of the police? So that's already been added in. I'm going to write that in there on Sunday. Instead of just making her a housewife, you know, I want to give her a little bit of something, because her character is not very crucial in the first in the early episodes there. But yeah, Jay came up with he came up with the title Hush, and also with the secret ending, which we're not going to say who is the actual murderer, but which I love what he did. I think it just came out, and cool. It just happened about one day. Really,
we've been on the phone constantly the last couple of days talking about shooting ideas back and forth. And he mentions this, and I said, that's really, really good. What about this? And he's like, that's really, really good.
Yeah.
And it just develops. And I'd like to say, thank you for mentioning Sonny and Fernando. I need to give these guys a very special shout out, because the 2 short films that I directed for the Oval Portrait would not have gotten done if it wasn't for both Fernando Barron and Sonny Marius. I approached them, and this whole thing came together in nanoseconds, you know, in the grand scheme of things. I got the location. It was a very risque location, because it was an old decrepit barn. Literally, the roof was being held together by hundreds of spider webs. It's very creepy if you happen to see it.
I was the brave one to go up there.
I saw it.
And Jules had to go up.
She had to
was
go
lucky.
up
I stayed downstairs.
We all prayed that the roof wouldn't collapse. Anyhow, Fernando shot the majority of footage. He shot all the footage there at the barn. I shot the footage in the woods with Willie and Jules. But he shot the majority of the footage. Sonny, Fernando also edited, and Sonny did the color correction and some of the filter work, because the footage at the barn and the footage that I shot at Markham Park is all meant to look like the 1800s. So you know, it's yellowed, it's aged, and so on and so forth. It looks great on film. But I really want to thank them, because they did an amazing job, and because of our collaboration, the way that we interacted and worked together on set, is why Dominick approached myself, Fernando, and Sonny with his idea to do this detective series, and has brought us in. So,
well, I watched how they worked, and the 3 of them are magic together, and it's a nice small unit. I don't believe in the big production, and these guys were working so well together. I was like, wow, you know, that makes it made it so easy. There was no stress on that shoot. I mean, well, there was one, but you know, but there was no stress.
Other than rattlesnakes and brown
there was another
spiders.
thing. So, but aside from that, it just gave me back that desire, because I watched them how they work, and Sonny, give me the loot, was and Fernando was great. They were just, and Jay, great guy to work with, because he's open to interpretation. He'll collaborate, and that's what I look for with the actors.
Got a good eye for the camera.
Yeah, that's what I look for. It's like, you know, speak your mind and bring to it. That's why the characters I'm writing, I'm giving each of the characters a backstory for this series, and it's the actor's job to bring whatever they're going to bring to it and bring whatever you want, because it's their moment to shine, because everybody's going to have a chance to shine and show what they can do. It's not a vanity piece, just myself. No, I'm going to be doing a little bit less, and it's more focusing on all these characters that are part of this story. And I just wanted to play a homicide detective, so I'm the, that was my thing.
It sounds like you're getting more into the direction and writing.
Well, it's not the first time. I've done it before. I've done 2 short films. I've won a couple of awards. I won the best short film at the Tokyo Film Festival for 24 hours. I won second place at the New York International Film Festival for Just Another Day. So and those productions I did all on my own. I was writer, director, cinematographer, editor, actor, producer, everything. It nearly killed me. Second film, I had a guy help me out to do camera work.
That was Christian Ramirez.
No, I'm talking about early before him. Christian, that was his stuff. I was just acting
okay.
for him. Yeah, I had Ned Barbie as my cinematographer for 24 hours, and we shot everything in 24 hours.
Well, I saw that one.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
On the sailboat?
Yeah, the sailboat. Yeah,
yeah, I like that.
And I used no dialogue until the very last ending. The person says a line that everything you saw in image sums up everything. So, and it was a challenge for me there. And I like shooting in 15 minutes intervals, because you trim off all the fat and you give just the meat. It's just a story, and that's what I want. But
that's your approach to Hush is going to be like that, right?
Yeah, it's going to be very much like that. It's very stylized. It's very ambiguous in its dialogue. It explains, things, but I want the audience to come to their own conclusion. So if 3 people look at it, 3 people have different ways of looking at it. It's similar to the movie that just came out with Scarlett Johansson, Under the Skin. Fantastic movie. The director makes the audience think for themselves what they're seeing, and you come to your own interpretation and story. And I'll have that. So I'm approaching it that way, and like I said, I'm developing. I'm big. It's character driven and dialogue driven. So
have you got some characters assigned, like say to Julie and Darren here?
Yeah, everybody's been cast. Darren's playing Thomas Sinclair. One of the suspects is a photographer. Julie is Vivian DeSoto, my partner and detective, transferred from Tampa to major case down here. And I'm Nathaniel Lewis.
I can see you guys as detective.
I wanted a female
partners.
Counterpart to me. I didn't want to go with the obvious route, and Julie, watching her, because I observed her on our shoot with Jay, she has a dark edge to her. There were certain little things that I noticed in how she expressed herself and didn't express herself, and there was something that I wanted to use there, and I go, she would be a perfect partner in for Homicide, because there's a darkness to Julie. As sweet as she looks, but there is.
I heard she eats live bats. Is there any truth to
I don't know
that?
if she does that.
No.
So,
Okay.
but
Notice she doesn't actually deny the claim.
No, she just smiled at
It's
me,
true.
kind of weird.
Possible.
It was
Just
weird.
smiling here.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something. Being surrounded by thousands of spiders at the barn and rattlesnakes at Markham Park, naturally you jump out of the way of the rattlesnake, which she did. I could put that on the DVD of the Oval Portrait if you want. I got that on film.
True, you
But
got it on film.
ultimately, with the insects and so on and so forth going on, she's more brave than I am. She was.
I wasn't afraid of the spiders.
Let's just do it. Let's get the shots done. And based on when we started working together, I'm a very passionate person, and I look for people in the film industry that I want to work with who are also very passionate. And working with Dominick, I saw that he was that type of person. He puts 100% into every role that he does, and he does his homework, and he comes to rehearsal on time, and he makes sure all of the work gets done. And so I brought him in on the Oval Portrait, and a lot of his work on the film is all expression. It's in his face, it's in his eyes, it's in his body language, and it's really represented so well on film. And then between Sonny and Fernando, working very passionately and diligently, they just give everything that they have. And I saw that with Darren, I saw that with Julie, so I brought all of these people together, and now Dominick is doing the same thing. And that's what really works.
Well, it's good that we can all collaborate and work together on different things, and very important people that help out in the background, like Shar Fromhoff.
Yeah, Shar Fromm, yes.
She's a very good
Sharsky Minarski.
person to be associated with. She enjoys certain people and their
If she believes in
creativity,
them,
and
she's there
in
with
it,
you.
yes.
Yeah, and that's nice to have.
Her support of the arts and of the individual it can't be undermined. It means everything to the artist. And I'm always happy to see her at the theater and taking up one of the seats and supporting and hanging out afterwards.
Well, she enjoys that too.
And
we're a
always happy to
sensitive
give you
lot.
advice and steer you in the right direction. So I love it.
Yeah, except and that's a concept when we got together to put this company A&I was that we would be mostly concentrating on original work, but something that has some kind of difference, some kind of meaning behind it, something that's to support the local area.
You have to, because not a lot of people are, and there's a lot of talent out there that music-wise, artist-wise, acting-wise, that doesn't have the place to go and do it, because there's so much politics in some of the theaters here that it's ridiculous, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
So we need people around like Shar and like and like Aaron, Aaron who will put the theater together and provide the place for us to do these things, and Shar Fromhoff and people who will provide some of the financial resources, because it costs money to put these productions on, and even with nobody getting paid, it still costs a lot of money to do these things,
And you got to feed your crew. You got to take care of everybody. And there's one thing that really impressed me when we were on set shooting at the barn. There's a very emotional scene that takes place at the barn, and I needed Jules here to cry, and not a minute later, tears, real tears, no eyedropper, no nothing. She was crying. So I've never actually met an actor or actress that can basically cry on cue.
Wow.
She brought it. So you come down to the Abyss Theater this weekend, you see 50 Shades of Poe, you're watching the Oval Portrait, the video, and you see her crying.
Those are real tears that you see on video.
We'll get to see Julie cry again. I have to remember that for next time I have a production, Julie, that I need somebody to cry.
I got
will
feedback.
cry for you.
That's nice.
Oh, trust me, you will.
Some of the feedback I got from 50 Shades of Poe, not just my piece, but the piece prior to it, there's video, and there's a very emotional scene there too. And the audience gets affected. I've had some audience members laugh, they've cried.
My husband,
you run the whole gamut of emotions.
And he said he was choking, like he couldn't, like it made him emotional to see me like that on.
That's cool.
And that's a full collaborative effort. That's acting. That's Sonny and Fernando doing their thing. It's everything.
The
and
cinematography is amazing.
I'm incredibly grateful to everyone involved. Thank you, Darren, because and let's not forget Darren. He's not in that particular scene, but he's in the entire opening. He starts the Oval
Prince
Portrait.
Prospero.
He's the whole friggin' show.
He's he runs the show, and then on the Oval Portrait, he starts the whole show. He's got his own short film where he's the one and only actor.
Right.
So he sets the tone.
Did a good job too. You got kind of steampunked out as well.
Yeah, so I had a unique opportunity to kind of play like two different characters with a little bit of a twist going on there. And so as Prince Prospero, that guy's just like a party animal. That's the approach. So, I mean, he's been one of the more fun roles. I feel like as part of that role, my job is to get the play started, get the party started, so to speak. And so I want to make sure that everybody feels welcome and that they know they're in for a good time.
I noticed that you had a whip on stage. Did you have to practice with the whip? Or are you any good at it?
That's a prop I had from home. I'm not going to say why, but
okay.
That's not cool there.
You brought that from home.
And
there's only one that you have in a big rack. Right?
It's got a lot of use at the theater, a lot of practice.
Which whip will I use today? Let's use Wednesday's whip.
All right, well, I'll tell you what. It is great to have all these people and to meet everybody and under these circumstances of creativity, and then to see people that I work with get together and just go off and do their own stuff is truly a magical thing. And I'm glad to be a part of it. Glad to be, a part of it wherever I was. And I know it's going to be successful. So we're looking forward to this last weekend here.
Friday and Saturday, 8 o'clock.
Saturday.
I do want to say a special hello to my friend Bella that's listening right now. Hello, my dear. I hope you're enjoying the show. But yes, it is this Friday and Saturday, 8 o'clock at 2308 North Dixie Highway.
2304.
2304. Okay.
Yeah, that 2308, you can get a good workout.
Well, so whatever.
The gym's next there. And then come over to 2304.
They do work out a lot.
And the experience starts as soon as you stepped in the theater. I mean, one of the things, the unique things that Erin does is that she changes the lobby for every show. She makes it unique to the show.
Yeah, paints the
And
whole thing
so-
and everything. That's
No,
part
Jewel
of the-
painted the whole thing. I saw her do it. You know,
That's
Erin did
great.
too, but I was seeing Jewel's a lot with the
All
paint.
right, well, that's part of the immersive nature of the Abyss Theater, which you
Immersed
guys
in
you
paint.
can go ahead and see this weekend, starting Friday at 8 o'clock.
Yes.
Friday and Saturday, 8 p.m. You want to get there probably around 7:30.
Yeah.
All
Get
right.
your tickets online because the show is going.
Sit
quick
in the
there.
front, and Prospero will bring you wine.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, well, guys, thanks for showing up and having another great Rick Show on the Radio episode.
Thank you
here.
for
a lot of
having
fun.
Thank you,
us.
Rick, for bringing us all together. Not
You
today,
bet,
but
man.
in general.
Yeah.
It's my pleasure and our pleasure, and A&I, and everybody want to say hello to your moms up there? Or I want to say
Hi,
hello.
Mom. Hi, Jordana, Adam, everybody.
Say hello to
Love
my
you,
wife,
guys.
Caroline. She's up in Ireland. Hi, Caroline. Hurry up back here, honey, okay?
Aw.
She
There's
says hi to all you guys, by
Hi,
the way.
Caroline.
All right, folks, that's it for our show today. We'll see you next week on SoFloRadio.com.
Broadcasting from the heart of downtown Hollywood. This is SoFloRadio.com.